Good evening, everyone. It is a great pleasure to see you here. My name is Jane Shodel. I'm the lead programmer of the Special Presentation Program, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to tonight's world premiere screening of Emily, written and directed by Frances O'Connor. I would like to thank our lead and major sponsors, Bell, RBC, Bulgari, and Visa, for their continued support. Thank you also to our major supporters, the Government of Canada, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto for their continued support. This film is eligible for the Platform Prize for Best Film in the Platform Program and the People's Choice Award. So please vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote. We would like to thank Sphere Films and Bleecker Street and Embankment Films for providing us with this film. Thank you. Each year, TIFF's platform section recognizes the artistic merits of innovative contemporary filmmakers whose distinct voices carve a new path for the future of filmmaking. Emily is the opening film of the platform section, and it is the feature directorial debut of the already accomplished actress Frances O'Connor, and a most auspicious debut it is. Please, for her. Frances O'Connor is an award-winning actress best known for Mansfield Park, AI Artificial Intelligence for Steven Spielberg, and Wind Talkers with John Woo, in addition to numerous ongoing roles in television series, including The Missing, Clever Man, Mr. Selfridge, and The End. Emily is a boldly atmospheric, psychologically incisive portrait of the author of Wuthering Heights, exploring her irrepressible creativity and the secret desires she harbored for her life, a life confined by oppressive social convention and patriarchy. The film is notable for its thrilling performances and a bold directorial vision that immerses us into the hearts and minds of its characters. We're so pleased that we have an opportunity to speak with our guests after the screening, but please join me in welcoming Frances O'Connor.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Wow. This is amazing. Thank you so much for coming out tonight to see our film. We're so proud to be opening the platform section of TIFF tonight. And I guess I'm standing here a little bit like a proud mother. I love my baby, and I really hope you're going to love her too. I've loved Emily Brontë probably all my life. I guess, like on a super geeky kind of level. I guess because she was so authentically herself. She was just herself. And what that was different, and she was okay with that. And I really love that as an idea. And she also wrote one of the most beautiful, powerful, passionate, transcendent novels that we have. And she wrote it when she was 27. I mean, can you imagine writing Wuthering Heights at 27? And often when I read her work, her novel or her poetry, I feel like you can feel her, like just behind the words, but just out of reach. And so I wanted to write a story that brought her out into the light so that we could celebrate who she is. And I'm an actress, it's fine. I cry, it's very easy for me. And maybe tell a story that she would want to be in or that she would want to watch. So yeah, that's the kind of genesis of the story. I just want to really just quickly thank some people. I wouldn't be up here and this film wouldn't exist if it wasn't for these people. So Piers Tempest, extraordinary indie producer, really just took the script and ran with it, and so grateful. And to David Barron, who was an incredible mentor to me through this process too. To Embankment, to Ingenious, to Arena Media, my dear friends at Arena Media, to Warner Brothers, and to Bleecker Street. All of you believed in the script and believed in this story. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, so that's it. We're going to bring out our beautiful actors at the end of the film so you can meet them. They're also gorgeous in the film, and we'll chat about the film. So yeah, so I think in a minute we're going to dim the lights and sit in the dark together, finally, and watch a story. And could there be anything better than that? Thank you.
Thanks for sticking around. My name is Mark Ashodi. I'm part of the programming team. Please welcome back Frances O'Connor. And Frances, you have some guests with you.
Yeah, I'd just like to invite to the stage the luminous Emma Mackey. And next we've got Oliver Jackson-Cohen. Come on, who played William Waitman. Woo! And now we've got Ali Dowling, who plays Charlotte. So beautifully. And Amelia Gething, our baby sister, Anne.
Okay, we're going to turn it over to the audience in just a second. But Frances, to begin with you, please tell us about, how you came to this story, what your background is with Wuthering Heights. I'd love to hear about that a little bit.
Yeah, I was doing a film in London and I had some spare time, so because I was such a Bronte fan, I went up to Haworth for the first time. And it's so evocative up there, and they've really left it very much untouched, and you can walk out from the parsonage onto the moors, and I just kind of got my imagination going. And then just reading more about Emily, I just thought there was a great story there about becoming an authentic person, no matter what the costs, I guess. Yeah.
And Emma, how did you come on board?
I came on board with an audition and some...
Which blew me away, by the way.
No, I was blown away by the script immediately, and it was kind of a no-brainer for me. And it became even more concrete in my mind when I met you, and when we started talking about the character and the story and where you wanted to go with it and the world that you wanted to fabricate. And it was just it was a wild ride, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It was magical, yeah.
Oliver, I'd love to hear from you as well. You guys are so amazing together on screen. What was that experience like?
Crap.
Thanks. A hardship.
It's quite hard to sort of answer that without sounding like a real kind of like actor loving. But I mean, Emma is. I mean, I feel like you've all seen. She's such a kind of force, and I think we were all just so lucky just being in scenes with her. What she brought to the character was just incredible. So. Our job was quite easy, actually, in comparison. So yeah, it's all thanks to Frances and Emma.
Great. And I'd love to hear from the rest of you as well, what your experience was like.
It was so much fun. Yeah. We were all just living together in these big houses in the middle of Yorkshire. I mean, we had our time off, so it was amazing. Frances was such a dream to work with. As an actress herself, she was so sensitive to the process, and it was, dream cast and dream team.
Yeah, the whole experience was just like so lovely to be a part of, and like everything from reading the script at the beginning to now watching it back, which is very surreal. But yeah, the whole thing has just been such an amazing experience, and it's all just such a lovely project to be a part of with such lovely people as well.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to open it up to questions. Please raise your hand. I will do my best to repeat your question. Yes, right there.
Thank you. Cheers.
So a question about Emily Brontë for Frances and for Emma. Any favorites from her writing?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot.
It's a lot. You mean like poetry, or do you mean like poetry, or? I love The Night Wind. I think that's a really beautiful poem. That's the poem that Emma recites, like when Branwell's reading the letter.
Under the lamppost.
Under the lamppost. Yeah. So I love that. I love all her poetry. They're so beautiful. Like if you've got an evening, get a great bottle of wine and sit down and read some poetry of Emily Brontë. It's so beautiful.
Why not? Yeah, I was going to say that one. I forgot the title. I'm so glad you said it.
I
was like, what is the name of that poem? But that one, I enjoyed speaking it. It's rare.
Yeah.
Poetry, I feel, this is going to sound really wanky. Poetry is better when you speak it out loud. If it feels good when you speak it out loud, it's probably a good poem, I would say.
Yeah.
And that one feels good. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, more questions. Yes, right here.
Hi, good evening. I was just wondering, Frances, the whole movie was fantastic, but is there one scene that was your favorite and why?
Yes, a difficult question, I'm sure. Was there one scene that was your favorite from the movie?
I love the cottage scene when kind of Waitman and Emily fall in love with the wind, and I love that scene. And
the sex scene.
What's that? No, at night, the night one. I just love the sex scene. It was just really hot. I spent a long time editing it. I don't know, it was... No, not really, no. The scene when you fall in love at nighttime. I think that's a beautiful scene. Okay, are everybody on board now? And I actually love the scene where you destroy Branwell, because I like that we just kind of keep the camera on you, and it's just, there's no hidden, it's no smoke or mirrors, it's just we're watching you act, and I think it was just stunning. Yeah, I love that scene. Yeah.
Okay, more questions. Over there, yes. So, sorry, I'll just read
Well,
it.
it's interesting. Charlotte and Emily did have a big power struggle. I mean, just generally. I mean, they all loved each other, I think, from the research that I've done, the books we've read. But I think there was a power struggle both ways between the two of them. And, like Charlotte did actually edit some of Emily's poetry after she died and things like that. She did. And then apparently they burnt a lot of her. The fire thing actually was, they did actually burn some of Emily's personal writing, which could have just been protective, because actually when Wuthering Heights came out, I mean, this is kind of interesting, people freaked out about it. And they were kind of aghast at the novel in a way, because it was so kind of brutal and violent. And that's when they thought it was written by a man. So imagine when, so Charlotte was very protective of Emily in terms of what people, just protecting her in terms of, Victorian society at that time. But yeah, there was very much a power dynamic between them, yeah.
And what was it like playing sisters? Yeah, love to hear about
It
that.
was
pretty
great, yeah.
It was great.
It was just swell. It was just swell.
Swell, darling. It was swell. No, we had a great time, and we had all that rehearsal time before the film started, before we started shooting, so we got to know each other, and it was really nice. I think that there is a power dynamic, but there's also a lovely playfulness between all of them.
Yeah,
and I think
totally.
that's so nice to see on screen, and to see that I don't know, it humanizes them a little more and makes them more tangible as people, and I like that. I like that they.
Yeah,
play.
because they're kind of literary heavyweights in so many ways, but it's just wonderful to see that they're also just people that had to do the dishes and did fight and did love each other, and that's also why they were wonderful writers, I think, too. Yeah.
More questions. Do we have any in the balcony? Yes, right there.
I was wondering, had any particular inspiration behind all the beautiful cinematography that
Oh, yeah.
So a question about the cinematography.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Inarritu, Alejandro González Inarritu. I just love his work. It's kind of poetry next to realism. and that grittiness. So I love that. So that was kind of one of my inspirations in terms of the look, kind of handheld, but beautiful. And also, like, I love Jacques Audiard, and Prophet was kind of a big inspiration for me too. And yeah. Thank you.
Okay, more questions. Yes, right over there.
Yeah, can you talk about how you chose which sort of period appropriate pieces to put on your film, and then blend that with the
Yeah. A question about the score and music
thanks.
choices.
So the John Fields, which is when Emily's drunk and plays the piano, that was, I think that was actually Robert Patterson. Is Robert Rob, that was your, I think that was your suggestion, right? I think. Yeah, Robert had suggested that. And then what was the other classical piece we used? Oh, at the concert. That's from The Magic Flute. I just love that aria. And the lyrics in it, I think they're in German, but they're kind of very prophetic. So I thought that was kind of nice that the singer is singing about something prophetic, but it's kind of very blissful and beautiful as a piece. So yeah, they're the two classical pieces we have in the film. Yeah, and everything else is composed by Abel Kozanowski, who I think just did such a beautiful job on the score. Yeah, really beautiful.
Okay. We have time for one more question. Can we get one from way up, if anyone has any?
There's one at the front.
Yes, right there, nice and loud. So a question about the Bronte sisters and how you see their story reflected in the fiction.
Like their literal, like their novels reflection? All of the sisters? Yeah. I mean, there's certain things that are in the story that are kind of taken from Wuthering Heights, like when Emily and Branwell go looking through windows and stuff. That's kind of stolen from Cathy and Heathcliff. When Charlotte comes home and she's dressed in all her finery, and Emily comes down off the moors, that's kind of like Heathcliff when Cathy comes home and she's all changed. So there's little things like that are kind of like sprinkled through the pieces, a kind of homage to Wuthering Heights. But thematically, I think what's interesting about Wuthering Heights is that Heathcliff and Cathy can't identify any separate identity. They think they're the same person. And that's kind of the relationship of Branwell and Emily too, a little bit. And I think that comes from, I think what was interesting about that is they did lose their mother when they were young. And that thing where a mother and a child, the child hasn't separated from the mother. What am I trying to say? The theme of separation and is kind of in Wuthering Heights, and I also kind of put that in my piece as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Well, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Pull out a bottle of wine.
Totally.
Pull out the poetry. Let's hear it one more time for Emily.